Welcome to our Lab 5 walkthrough. Lab 5, the two primary areas are our animations, frames and tweens, as well as shared preferences. Um, and our shared preferences will be saved between activities, and our frames and or tweens will display according to different logic choices. So let's go through a couple iterations of this. This example lab actually has a couple of extra items, and I'll discuss them as we go along the way. Okay, so as I started, we'll first see the splash. There's one main animation and a separate animation that pops up as well too. You only need one animation on the splash. And just make sure that it is the right type according to the instructions, and that the splash lasts long enough that we can actually see the animation. So here we see the tween and a little bit extra that happened here, and then we'll go into the main activity. And remember, we need three items. So this person chose, of course, username and email address, and then something that can be measured. This person chose the number of songs, because we need something that can be measured, much like the airline ticket miles, miles traveled for airlines, frequent flyer miles, thank you, in the example. So let me go ahead and not enter anything, and they used a image button, and it does do our checks, right? So we know how to do that. We may want to have that as a little bit extra there. So let me go ahead, enter a name, do rate, and it now wants an email, so let me do an email. Okay, and let me start out with a low number of songs that I know the logic behind this, and hit rate me, and we'll see one of the animations and messages. So bronze, and then we have a star that comes up. Notice we do pull items. We have Bubba, West Mish, and it would also be good to, of course, have the number of songs. This one does not, and it probably should have how many songs that person entered, because that is also part of our shared preferences. Nice back button here. It does clear it out. An even better extra piece here would we have shared preferences, perhaps have some extra logic that we could write that back out, because they do exist. And let me go ahead and go in between where I know we go to the next level, and we'll get a different response. Same activity, right? But different items load up. This one is Silver Star. Okay, we'll go back. And I could change these if I wanted to, and that would rewrite my shared preferences. Let's go ahead and do, right now we have gold. Once again, remember it's Bubba at Bubba West Mish, and it really should have, of course, the number as well too. It does not. And let me go ahead, I'll put something new here, just so you know the shared preferences are being rewritten each time. And we'll go to the top number of songs, I believe this is. And we have a different animation that, of course, comes up as well too. We have a frame going here, as well as still our tweens. So it does have Jethro at West Mish. And once again, having the number that the person entered would be good too, because that can be part of shared preferences. It doesn't have to be, but it could be. That would be a nice piece there. And so then we have our Lab 5 walkthrough. This one has some extra pieces. The primary parts, of course, is splash with the animation tween, and then having our three entry pieces, so that we can write the shared preferences, and then have the logic test. And then how you do that, we'll talk more about in class in terms of whether you want to have it one activity or display buttons to go to separate activities. That's a little bit easier. And you'll need to make that decision in terms of what extra pieces you would like to add.